The House will come to order. The invocation today will be given by the Honorable Representative Joe Tate, State Representative from the 9th District. Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise? Representative.
Let us pray. Lord God, please give us the strength and wisdom to make the best decisions possible for our constituents. Let us adhere to what Jesus said in the book of Matthew by taking care of the least of these. We ask all of this in your name. Amen.
The clerk will open the board for the purpose of taking attendance. The board is now open. Members, you may check in at your desk. For the purpose of introduction, the speaker recognizes Representative Bagol.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have some very special guests here on the floor with us today. 25 students and 13 adults from Corunna Middle School are in the West Gallery. Wonder if everybody could help me give them a welcome today.
Will the special guest of Representative Bagol please stand, rise, and welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. For the purpose of an introduction, the speaker recognizes Representative Nyer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today in the West Gallery, I also have 6 students and 5 adults from Elma Public Schools.
Will the special guest of Representative Nyer please rise? And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. For the purpose of an introduction, the speaker recognizes Representative Longjohn.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. With me today, I have a high school senior from Matawan who's shadowing as part of a senior project, and Madeline Freza is going to be with me for the next 24 hours, learning and hopefully getting ready to do her college career in poli-sci, and she hopes to be here at some point in the future.
Colleagues, please join me in welcoming Representative Longjohn's guest to the Michigan House of Representatives. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to excuse all absent members.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce today's attendance.
Madam Speaker, a quorum of the House is present. There are no members absent with prior excuse.
Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise and join me now in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? Members, we will be taking up a very special resolution. If you could please find your way to your seats, I would appreciate it. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of motions and resolutions.
Without objection, so ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move to suspend Rule 41 in order to discharge the Committee on Government Operations from further consideration of House Resolution 134.
The Majority Floor Leader moves that Rule 41 be suspended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The rule is suspended. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the Committee on Government Operations be discharged from further considerations of House Resolution 134.
The Majority Floor Leader moves that the Committee on Government Operations be discharged from further consideration of House Resolution 134. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is discharged. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 134.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
House Resolution number 134, introduced by Representative Wolford, a resolution to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States Marine Corps.
Speaker recognizes Representative Robinson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Semper Fidelis, a battle cry that is echoed through mess halls, barracks, battlefields, and anywhere else United States Marines have gathered. Always faithful. There is no greater marriage of motto to branch in all the United States military. For 250 years, Marines have more than lived up to those words. Today, I rise to not just to a fighting force, but an institution that has shaped this country and the man that you see before you today. Always faithful begs the question, faithful to what? I think the core fidelity to three things define how we live and breathe those words. First, Marines are faithful to this nation. From the birth of the Corps in 1775 to every conflict since, Marines have stood guard at the edge of the Republic. We've stormed beaches, secured embassies, evacuated civilians, and responded to crisis without hesitation. We defend the Constitution and the freedom that it protects. Second, Marines are faithful to their fellow Marine. Brotherhood in the Marine Corps is not a slogan, it is a daily reality. We keep each other safe, we keep each other honest, and above all else, just as an iron sharpens iron, we keep each other faithful. There are countless stories of Marines risking their lives for their fellow servicemen, and I assure you, there are just as many stories of Marines whipping each other into shape if someone was cheating the job. Finally, we help each other to faith when all hell breaks loose. There have been many dark moments in my life where I've received comfort, strength, and faith from the Marine Corps. Marine Corps brothers, and for that I am extremely and eternally grateful. Third, Marines are faithful to God. The Marine Corps understands that every Marine carries a sense of higher duty. Faith is what sustains Marines in the hardest moments when human strength alone is not enough. In fighting holes on ships, in the quiet minutes before a mission, and in the silence after the fight is over, Marines have always called on God for courage, for peace, and for the strength to carry on. When I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, I started one of the most formative, challenging, and rewarding experiences of my life, one that never truly ends. In the Corps, we say, once a Marine, always a Marine. It's something that never leaves you. In other words, the Corps and the brave men and women who fill the ranks are all defined by that motto, Semper Fidelis, always faithful. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Speaker recognizes Representative Wolford.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. 250 years ago, on November 10th, 1775, in a smoky haze of Tun Tavern in Philadelphia, a new force was born. Not yet even a nation, but a band of warriors who had helped forge one. The Continental Congress resolved to raise 2 battalions of Marines to augment the naval forces for the Revolutionary War. From that tavern table, the United States Marine Corps stepped into history, older than the Republic itself, always faithful, Semper Fidelis, to the idea that freedom is worth fighting for. Today we gather to commemorate the 250th anniversary, to honor the legacy of every Marine who shouldered a rifle, who stormed a beach, or stood a post in defense of this nation. The greatest weapon on earth we know is a Marine and his rifle. Our motto is always faithful. This is not a slogan, but a covenant between Marines and our country, between Marines and the brothers and sisters that we fight alongside. Honor, courage, and commitment, these are not words on a poster. They are blood stripes on our dress blues earned at Chapultepec in 1847, where Marines have fought with such ferocity that the red stripe has forever been sewn into our uniform. We are the devil dogs of Belleau Wood, where German soldiers in 1918 watched Marines charge through machine gun fire and whispered in awe, "Here is the Teufel, the devilish dog that comes to kill us at night." We are the Leathernecks, a name born from the stiff leather stock that once kept our chins high and our throats safe from swords. Our officers and NCOs bear the sword in recognition of leadership that has been forged in combat. Every symbol, every tradition, every scar reminds us that Marines run to the sound of gunfire. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, from the chosen reservoir to the sun-baked streets of Fallujah, Marines have written in history in blood and valor. At Belleau Wood, we turned a wheat field into a graveyard at Kaiser's best. At Tarawa, we waded through the coral and fire to plant a flag. At Hughes City, we fought house to house until the enemy broke. And at Iwo Jima, 6 Marines, among them Detroit's own Corporal Harold Schultz, raised the stars and stripes atop Mount Suribachi, a moment frozen in bronze and in our souls. Their sacrifices, our sacrifices echo the words of Scripture, to rescue the weak and the needy, to deliver them from the hand of the wicked. Our motto is God, country, and Corps, and in that order. It all begins with the yellow footprints. At Paris Island or San Diego, wide-eyed recruits step off the bus in the dead of night and plant their feet on those yellow printed prints. From that instant, the transformation begins where we dare earn the title Marine. It is not given, it is forged. It's in the crucible heat, etched in our souls forever. The change is permanent. The boy or woman who steps on those footprints are gone, and the Marine who steps off is reborn. And in closing, Marines are different. Our culture is a warrior spirit. We fight our country's battles in the air, the land, and the sea. We consider ourselves warriors with an obligation to be the most ready when our nation is the least ready to do the things that our country asks of our elite. Throughout history, at times, killing is necessary. We understand that this is a brutal business, but we never lose our humanity. We are arguably the most functional force in uniform. We are a cult that works. We're a gang that's lawful. We're the baddest fraternity on the planet. Semper Fidelis is more than just Latin. It is the unbreakable bond of a camaraderie, a specialness that says no Marine fights alone. We are the nation's first line of defense, and we are the last people that you want coming through your door if you wrong this country. Happy birthday, Marines. Semper Fi. Era! Thank you, Madam.
The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 134. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. For the purpose of an introduction, the Speaker recognizes Representative Robinson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am very proud and honored to have a man I went to boot camp with. And if you want, I have a picture of us in boot camp. I want to introduce my friend and my brother, Christian White.
The guests of Representative Robinson, please rise. Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. For the purpose of an introduction, the Speaker recognizes Representative Wolford.
Madam Speaker, today I rise for those that are with me today on the House floor. First with me, I'm joined by my wife, Maria, a United States Marine veteran, whose strength and service continue to inspire our family and our community. Besides her stands our daughter, Juliana, a Marine, whose dedication and discipline reflect the very best of the Marine Corps. We're also honored to be joined by United States Marine Corps Corporal Taryn Fry, whose commitment exemplify what it is to be a Marine. I'm honored to recognize my daughter Jenna, who stands proudly with us in support of our family and our service, and along with me, Marines in the East, South, and West Gallery. Semper Fi.
Will the special guest of Representative Wolford please rise? And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives, and thank you for your service. For the purpose of an introduction, the Speaker recognizes Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I just want to introduce the three fine Marines I have with me from Eaton and Ionia counties: Joe Bristol, Ben Girk, Todd Dreisey. Thank you for joining us today.
Colleagues, please join me in welcoming them to the Michigan House of Representatives, and thank you again for your service. For the purpose of introduction, the Speaker recognizes Representative Bagol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today I have some special guests in the West Gallery, 23 students and 14 adults from Corunna Middle School. If you could help me welcome them to the Capitol today.
Will the guests of Representative Bagol please rise, and welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. For the purpose of a staff farewell and tribute presentation, the speaker recognizes Representative Kuntz.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to be here today, and it's a little bit unfortunate because the absolute brains in my office are leaving. So I always told Olivia, come on. I always told Olivia, you should take credit for everything because I'm certainly going to blame you if anything goes wrong. So since day one, as long as I've been in Lansing, Olivia's been here with me. And it's been just an honor to work with her. And it's gone from, well, I don't know as if you've ever called me a boss. I don't think that's the issue. But it's gone beyond just long hours and working on legislation. And it's just so great to see her develop into it. So it's with a heavy heart that I present this tribute to Olivia, who is going to greener pastures.
Colleagues, please join me in thanking Olivia for her service to the Michigan House of Representatives. Speaker recognizes Representative Kuntz.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And again, although I stand here with a heavy heart that Olivia is leaving, she's going to be in very good hands. And it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Olivia's wife, Lieutenant Draft, who has entered the Army Air Corps and will be in helicopter school.
Colleagues, please join me in welcoming Representative Kuntz's guest to the House floor. And thank you for your service. Speaker recognizes Majority Caucus Chair Borton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Attention, Republican members. We have Republican caucus in the Republican caucus room. Republican members, we have Republican caucus in the Republican caucus room.
The House will go at ease at the call of the chair.
The House will come to order and proceed to announcements by the clerk of printing and enrollment.
The clerk announced the following bills have been reproduced and made available electronically on Wednesday, November the 5th. House Bills 5215 through 5225. Clerk announced the following bills in joint resolution reproduced and made available electronically on Thursday, November 6th. Senate Bill 699 through 702 and Senate Joint Resolution F.
Reports of standing committees.
The Committee on Rules, Representative Schuette Chair, reported House Bill 4926 with recommendation that the substitute H1 be adopted and the bill then pass.
We refer the order second reading of bills.
The Committee on Government Operations, Representative Begold Chair, reported House Bill 4805 without amendment with recommendation the bill pass.
We refer the order second reading of bills.
The Committee on Government Operations, Representative Begold Chair, reported House Bill 4806 without amendment with recommendation the bill pass.
We refer the order second reading of bills.
The Committee on Government Operations, Representative Begold Chair, reported House Bill 4807 with recommendation that the substitute H1 be adopted and the bill then pass.
We refer the order second reading of bills.
The Committee on Government Operations, Representative Begold Chair, reported House Bill 4808 without amendment and with recommendation the bill pass.
We refer the order second reading of bills.
The Committee on Government Operations, Representative Begold Chair, reported Senate Bill 349 with recommendation the bill referred to the Committee on Education and Workforce.
We refer to the Committee on Education and Workforce.
The Committee on Government Operations, Representative Begold Chair, reported Senate Bill 350 with recommendation the bill be referred to the Committee on Education and Workforce.
We refer to the Committee on Education and Workforce. Notices.
The House Committee on Judiciary will meet, and the Senate Civil Rights, Judiciary, and Public Safety Committees will meet Thursday, November the 13th at 9 a.m., room 352 of the Capitol.
The House will stand at ease. For the purposes of introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Rogers.
Actually, if I may, Mr. Speaker, I have an announcement. So Democrats, we have caucus. Democrats, we have caucus in the caucus room. Thank you.
The Midwesterner is given permission to record today's session.
If I could have members' attention for the purposes of introduction, the chair recognizes Representative McFall.
Thank you. Today, colleagues, I have 23 students and 6 adults from Peck Elementary in the Centerline School District in the West Gallery.
Would the special guests of Representative McFall please rise? Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. If I could have the members' attention for purposes of introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Linting.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Today I have with me a very special guest from Carlson High School in Gibraltar, Kasha Griswack.
Would the special guest, Representative Linting, please rise? Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives.
For the purpose of an introduction, the speaker recognizes Representative Jenkins Arno.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is my pleasure to welcome to the House today a group of students from Lenawee Christian School, and they are here with us in the West Gallery.
Will the guests of Representative Jenkins Arno please rise? And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives.
House come to order. Proceed to notices.
The House Committee on Judiciary will meet Wednesday, November 12th at 10:30 a.m. in room 521 of the House Office Building.
Introduction of bills.
Representative Breen offers House Bill 5226, a bill to amend the Insurance Code of 1956. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Insurance.
Representative Fairbairn offers House Bill 5227, a bill to amend the Occupational Code. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Regulatory Reform.
Representative Hoadley offers House Bill 5228, a bill to amend the Occupational Code. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Regulatory Reform.
Representative Liberati offers House Bill 5229, a bill to amend the Occupational Code. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Regulatory Reform.
Representative Hoadley offers House Bill 5230, a bill to amend the Michigan Vehicle Code. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure.
Representative Johnson offers House Bill 5231, a bill to designate the Honor and Remember flag as the official emblem of remembrance of the State of Michigan. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Government Operations.
Representative Kolazar offers House Bill 5232, a bill to amend an act, provide for the granting of military leaves and providing reemployment protection for officers and enlisted men of the military of the United States of America. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Government Operations.
Representative Robinson offers House Bill 5233, a bill to require certain employers to provide paid military leave for certain members of those employers. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Government Operations.
Representative Begul offers House Bill 5234, a bill to amend the Michigan Field Code. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Government Operations.
Representative Schuette offers House Bill 5235, a bill to amend the Income Tax Act of 1967. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Judiciary.
Representative Schuette offers House Bill 5236, a bill to amend the Income Tax Act of 1967. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Judiciary.
Representative Boland offers House Bill 5237, a bill to amend the Public Employee Retirement System Investment Act. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Economic Competitiveness.
Representative Dyer offers House Bill 5238, a bill to amend the Banking Code of 1999. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Economic Competitiveness.
Representative Meerman offers House Bill 5239, a bill to amend the Savings Bank Act. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Economic Competitiveness.
Representative Leitner offers House Bill 5240, a bill to amend the Credit Union Act. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Economic Competitiveness.
Representative Cavett offers House Bill 5241, a bill to amend the Management and Budget Act. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Regulatory Reform.
Representative Kelly offers House Bill 5242, a bill to prohibit accrediting agencies from reviewing or considering diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Government Operations.
Representative Carr offers House Bill 5243, a bill to amend the Michigan Strategic Fund Act. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Government Operations.
Representative Boyer offers House Bill 5244, a bill to amend the Urban Cooperation Act of 1967. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Government Operations.
Representative Meerman offers House Bill 5245, a bill to prohibit certain state officers from obtaining employment with certain persons for a designated time after leaving public office. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Will be considered at first time by House, referred to Committee on Government Operations. The House will stand at ease.
For the purpose of introduction, the speaker recognizes Representative Roth.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Appreciate it. We have an introduction to do today, and that we have Traverse City St. Francis, Leelanau St. Mary's schools here visiting the Capitol, with Senator DeMoose up there too.
Will the special guest of Representative Roth please rise? And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of motions and resolutions to take up calendar item number 1, House Resolution 206.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
Calendar item number 1, House Resolution number 206, introduced by Representative Martis, was passed for the day during a previous session.
Speaker recognizes Representative Martis.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to recognize Michigan Historical Music Week this coming week. I thought about wearing a piano keys tie, but then I know House rules do not allow for props, but I also feel like I'm dressed like someone who would have been really offended by Elvis on the Ed Sullivan Show. But Michigan has had an outsized influence on music in America and across the globe. Michiganders have played notes in every genre of music. While I may not have much musical talent, music has been important to my life, and I know that is the case for everyone in this body. Many of those songs that have inspired us, brought us to tears, and gotten us through the most difficult days of our lives were made by people who hailed from the Great Lakes state. Think about Motown, which had 79 Billboard Top 100 hits in the 1960s, as Detroit launched the careers of countless black artists long locked out of mainstream pop music. Rock bands in the late 1960s, like the Stooges and MC5, laid the groundwork for the worldwide phenomenon of punk rock. DJs and innovators began to experiment with what music could be when they created techno in Detroit in the early 1980s. Whether it has been the soul of Aretha, the superstardom of Madonna, the rhymes of Marshall Mathers, or the old-time rock and roll of Bob Seger, or countless other artists, music would not be what it is today without Michigan. And this week, I'm particularly proud of two folks from Michigan. This week, the White Stripes will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Jack and Meg White, whose songs like Seven Nation Army and We're Gonna Be Friends have been staples of pop culture for over 25 years and are very proud Michiganders. I think with someone like Jack White as well, this is a person who has an extraordinary talent and yes, uses that to entertain, but also to give back to a community that he loves. And the White Stripes join over 30 members of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame from the city of Detroit alone. When young people see that so many legends grew up just a few miles away from them, it will hopefully inspire them to utilize their creative skills and pursue their dreams. The headliners and chart toppers of tomorrow are right here in Michigan today. I just hope that that future music is not country. I'm sorry. This week, we applaud the countless musicians who shape popular music in all of its forms and have provided the soundtrack for the story of Michigan, America, and the world. Thank you.
The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 206. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 208.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
House Resolution number 208, introduced by Representative DeSena, a resolution to declare November 7th, 2025 as Victims of Communism Day in the state of Michigan.
Speaker recognizes Representative DeSena.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, today I rise in solemn remembrance of the more than 100 million men, women, and children who have perished under communist regimes. These victims, sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, were not numbers in a statistic. They were human beings whose lives were taken in the name of an ideology that promised equality but delivered tyranny, starvation, and death. November 7th marks the anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution, the event that unleashed the first modern communist regime upon the world. From that moment forward, communism spread through nations like a plague, leaving behind mass graves, broken families, and shattered nations. It is fitting that today we declare November 7th as Victims of Communism Day in the state of Michigan, a day to educate, to remember, and to reaffirm our commitment to liberty. According to the Black Book of Communism, over 65 million were killed in China, 20 million in the Soviet Union, 2 million in Cambodia, 2 million in North Korea, 1.7 million in Africa, 1.5 million in Afghanistan, 1 million in Eastern Europe, and 1 million in Vietnam. Each of these numbers represent an individual life extinguished by regimes that denied freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of thought. They died not only from bullets and prisons, but from hunger engineered by the state. The Holodomor in the Ukraine, the Great Leap Forward in China, and the killing fields of Cambodia. They stand as dark monuments to what happens when government becomes God. Here in Michigan, we are home to tens of thousands who fled communist tyranny from Poland, Hungary, the Ukraine, Vietnam, Cuba, and beyond. They came here seeking what communism could never offer, freedom. They remind us that liberty is not the default condition of mankind. It must be defended, taught, and cherished. Their stories of survival, of courage, of gratitude for America are the living testimony of why this resolution matters. Too often, our schools and our culture treat communism as a mere alternative economic system. But history tells the truth. Communism is not an idea that failed to live up to its ideals. It is an ideology that succeeded in unleashing some of the worst atrocities the world has ever known. We owe it to the victims and to future generations to teach the truth about communism's crimes so that they are never repeated on this soil or any other. Colleagues, Victims of Communism Day is not just about remembering the past, it is about protecting the future. Let us never forget that freedom is fragile. Let us honor those who died under tyranny by rededicating ourselves to the cause of liberty, justice, and human dignity. Thank you, and I urge my colleagues to support this resolution.
The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 208. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 209.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 209, introduced by Representative Regas, a resolution to declare November 2025 as National Alzheimer's Awareness Month in the state of Michigan.
Speaker recognizes Representative Regas.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, I rise today in support of this resolution recognizing November 2025 as National Alzheimer's Awareness Month in the state of Michigan. The words on this page are more than statistics to me. They are a lived reality. My grandmother, Donna Bourne, was taken by early onset Alzheimer's. I watched the strongest woman, the most loving grandmother, slowly slip away. First the forgotten names, then the forgotten stories, and then finally the spark in her eyes that said she still knew who I was, but she was unable to communicate. She was born in 1928. She married my grandfather in 1945. She retired in 1984 because her work performance had started to slip. I was only 10 years old. I didn't understand what Alzheimer's meant. But for 10 long, agonizing years, which is why they call it the longest goodbye, this vibrant, amazing, loving woman who would always spoil her grandkids and loved us more than anything, insisted on hosting every single holiday, it just slipped away. So her house was always tidy, and I remember she'd forgotten how to clean and she forgot how to vacuum, and she would crawl around the house for 10 to 12 hours, picking up lint and anything, because she forgot how to vacuum, but she still did not want her home to look unkept. The summer before she moved into a nursing home, my grandfather had kept her at home until she could barely walk because he did not want anyone else to take care of his wife. And I remember the summer before she went into the home, I spent that summer babysitting my grandmother. All of my friends were babysitting children. And as a teenager, I spent my summer babysitting my own grandmother while my grandfather received his cancer treatments. I wouldn't have changed it, and I would have never taken that time I had with her back. In Michigan, over 200,000 of our neighbors are living with this cruel disease. And more than 385,000 caregivers, mostly family members, are giving everything they have, often without pay, without rest, and without recognition. Nationally, nearly 7 million Americans carry this burden today, a number that will nearly double by 2050 unless we act. That's why this resolution matters. It's a call to action to fund research that could finally cure this disease, to support the caregivers who are the unsung backbone of this community, and to break the silence that keeps too many families suffering alone. President Ronald Reagan, who actually suffered Alzheimer's during the same period that my grandmother did, first declared November Alzheimer's Awareness Month in 1983. 42 years later, we still have no cure, no way to prevent it, no way to stop it. But we do have resolve, and today the Michigan House stands united in that resolve, and I'm proud to honor the strength of every Michigander living with Alzheimer's, every caregiver who is exhausted, the dedication of those caregivers holding their hand and the researchers racing against time. For my grandmother, Donna, for every family represented in this chamber, and for the millions yet to be diagnosed, let's keep fighting until Alzheimer's is only read about in the history books as the greatest research breakthrough and the greatest cure of our lifetime. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I urge a yes vote on this resolution.
The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 209. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 210.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 210, introduced by Representative Frisbee, a resolution to declare November 12th through 18th, 2025 as Community Foundation Week in the state of Michigan.
Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move to pass for the day.
Without objection, so ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 211.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 211, introduced by Representative Price, a resolution to declare November 2025 as Michigan Assisted Living Month in the state of Michigan.
Speaker recognizes Representative Price.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to introduce a resolution declaring November 2025 as Michigan Assisted Living Month in the state of Michigan. Across our state, assisted living communities play a vital role in helping older adults live with dignity, security, and purpose. These communities provide high-quality care while allowing residents to maintain as much independence as possible. These communities put the best of Michigan values into action: compassion, patience, and respect for the dignity of every person. Whether it's a caregiver helping someone get ready for the day, a cook who knows every resident's favorite meal, or an activities coordinator bringing laughter to a memory care wing, these workers remind us what community truly means. And for many, these caregivers become like family. Michigan is home to more than 4,300 assisted living facilities that employ over 32,000 Michiganders, from caregivers and nurses to dining staff, maintenance teams, and administrators. Together, they form an industry that not only provides critical care, but also strengthens our economy, contributing nearly $2.5 billion statewide. And as our population ages, the importance of these communities will only grow. By 2029, nearly 14.4 million middle-income seniors nationwide will require assisted living, and many will struggle to afford the cost of care. Here in Michigan, we must continue to support policies that ensure seniors and their families have access to safe, affordable, and compassionate care. This resolution recognizes the people who make that possible, the caregivers, administrators, and family members who dedicate their lives to helping older Michiganders thrive. Madam Speaker, I invite my colleagues to join me in recognizing November as Michigan Assisted Living Month. Let's take this moment to thank the caregivers, staff, and families who give so much of themselves to make life better for Michigan seniors. Thank you.
The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 211. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 212.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 212, introduced by Representative Menser, a resolution to urge the United States Congress to adopt the language of Section 143 of House Bill 3838 of the 119th Congress, the Streamlining Procurement for Effective Execution and Delivery and National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2026, to strengthen protections against the early retirement of the A-10 Thunderbolt II aircraft fleet.
The resolution is referred to the Committee on Government Operations. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 213.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 213, introduced by Representative Roth, a resolution to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Speaker recognizes Representative Roth.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And yes, you can sing along. As a young man at 12 years of age and in the 7th grade, I learned of this tragedy in the Great Lakes. It was quite interesting. David Brinkley from NBC News, if any of you were alive when David Brinkley was actually there, brought this out to all of us of the tragedy of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Quite unbelievable what happened in the Great Lakes. This is a tribute for the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I'd like to thank the great Gordon Lightfoot and Dane Clement for their part in writing this tribute. There is a place on Earth that has more unexplained disappearances of boats and planes than anywhere else in the world. Most people want to say Bermuda Triangle. No, it's actually right here at the Great Lakes. We've had more vessels and more planes disappear unexplainedly in our region than anywhere else in the world. The Edmund Fitzgerald was more than just a ship. She was the pride of the American side. She was a mighty freighter that braved the vast and unpredictable waters of the Great Lakes. She was first launched in River Rouge, Michigan, June 8, 1958. At the time she was launched, the Edmund Fitzgerald was the largest freighter on the Great Lakes at 729 feet and represented the pinnacle of American shipbuilding and the industrious spirit of Michigan. Her crew, 29 strong, were very seasoned sailors, along with their captain, Ernest McSorley, each one of them trusting the Fitzgerald's strength as it carried a load of iron ore 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald's laid empty. Transporting iron ore from the mines of Minnesota to the steel mills of Zug Island near Detroit on the big lake they call Lake Gitchagumi. But on the fateful night of November 10, 1975, the gales of November came early. The SS Arthur Anderson with Captain Bernie Cooper and Captain McSorley decided to take the northerly route, which was considered the safer route, across Lake Superior. The storm was relentless, battering the ship with towering waves reaching over 18 feet high and fierce winds of 60-mile-an-hour plus. At times, they had to battle freezing rain on the ship also. As Mr. Lightfoot's lyrics echo, the winds and the wires made the tattletale sign, and a wave broke over the railing. Despite their experience and resolve, the crew faced nature's fury head on, fighting for survival as the storm intensified as they rode across Lake Superior. The Anderson, just 15 miles ahead of the Fitzgerald, maintained radio contact until we heard, "We are holding our own." In the final words of the moment, the haunting words rang out. At 7 p.m., the main hatchway caved in, and he said, "Fellas, it's been good to know you." The ship's lights vanished out of sight, and they fell off the radar of the Anderson. The legend of the Edmund Fitzgerald was sealed in the icy depths of Lake Superior. She may have broke up, as they say, or she may have capsized, which many people don't believe she capsized. She may have rode the wave to the bottom, the giant wave that both they felt and Arthur Anderson felt 15 minutes later. The ballad says, "Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn to the minutes to hours?" It's a question that lingers, reminding us of the human cost and the enduring mystery of that night. Each November, the church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each member on the Edmund Fitzgerald. Now I understand it rings 30 times because we lost the good Gordon Lightfoot, who brought this attention to our state. We honor the sacrifices and the memory of each one of the souls. The 50th anniversary stands not only as a remembrance of those who were on the crew and those that perished, including one man from Michigan, Thomas D. Benson from St. Joseph, but also a tribute to Michigan maritime history, the bravery of the Great Lakes sailors, past and present, and the communities whose livelihoods depend on shipping and commerce across these inland seas. It also reminds us of the raw power and unpredictability of nature and the respect we owe to the men and women who work upon the Great Lakes. The song closes with a somber truth. Superior, they say, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early. As we remember the Edmund Fitzgerald, let us honor the courage of those who sailed her. Let their story continue to move us with every haunting note and lyric. Please note that I would like copies of this resolution being sent to the Great Lakes Maritime Museum, Mariners Church of Detroit, and the museum Ship Valley Camp as a symbol of the state of Michigan's enduring respect and appreciation for their efforts to honor those lost with the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And if anyone wants to know of the night, I highly recommend a YouTube video that you can get with the conversations of the Coast Guard and the Arthur Anderson. If you want to hear a chilling account of what it was like that night, that is the perfect example. The fact that the Coast Guard commander had to ask the Arthur Anderson to go back out and check for survivors. Listening to the Arthur Anderson captain say, "Are you sure? Do you know how bad it is out there?" And then having the guts and the courage to turn around and go out and look for survivors. Spent another 24 hours out there on the water. It's quite amazing. It's quite a history of Michigan. A sad story, but we honor those that still work today on the Great Lakes. So thank you, Madam Chair.
The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 213. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of third reading of bills to take up calendar item number 15, House Bill 4860.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
Calendar item number 15, House Bill 4860, introduced by Representative Harris, a bill to amend the Insurance Code of 1956. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There being no amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
To clear the board.
Majority Floor Leader moves to clear the board. The clerk will clear the board. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, I move that the House take up calendar item number 15, House Bill 486.
I need a minute. We're just having a bit of a technical issue. That's all that's going on. The question before the House is the passage of the bill. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4860, there are 99 aye votes and 1 nay vote.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, move that the House take up calendar item number 16, House Bill 4726.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
Calendar item number 16, House Bill 4726, introduced by Representative Bierlein, a bill to amend the Social Welfare Act. People, State of Michigan, enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There being no amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4726, there are 97 aye votes and 3 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, move that the House take up calendar item number 17, House Bill 5079.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
Calendar item number 17, House Bill 5079, introduced by Representative Mueller, a bill to amend the Michigan Penal Code. People of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Carr offers one amendment identified as amendment number 1.
On third reading, amendments require support. Is there support? There is support. The question before the House is on the adoption of the amendment. The clerk will open the board. The amendment is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. Members, the board is still open. You may vote at your desks. The clerk will close the board. Representative Wooden votes. Representative Wooden votes aye. Representative Skaggs votes. Representative Skaggs votes. Representative Tate votes aye. Representative Fitzgerald votes aye. Representative Leitner votes aye. Representative Skaggs votes nay. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4079, there are 75 aye votes and 25 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, move that the House take up calendar item number 18, House Bill 5080.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
Calendar item number 18, House Bill 5080, introduced by Representative Mueller, a bill to amend the Code of Criminal Procedure. People of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Carr offers one amendment identified as amendment number 1.
On third reading, amendments require support. Is there support? There is support. The question before the House is on the adoption of the amendment. The clerk will open the board. The amendment is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board. Representative Thompson votes aye. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question on final passage of House Bill 5080, there's 75 aye votes and 25 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of motions and resolutions to take up House Resolution 214.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 214, introduced by Speaker Hall, a resolution to urge the United States Senate to immediately pass a clean, continuing resolution to reopen the federal government.
Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House suspend Rule 71 in order to take up House Resolution 214.
The Majority Floor Leader moves to suspend Rule 71. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Nay. Rule 71 is suspended. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 214.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 214, introduced by Speaker Hall, a resolution to urge the United States Senate to immediately pass a clean, continuing resolution to reopen the federal government.
Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Song offers one amendment identified as amendment number 1.
The question is on the adoption of the amendment. The clerk will open the board. The amendment is not adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is the adoption of House Resolution 214. Speaker recognizes Representative Green.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I please speak to the resolution?
So ordered.
Today, I rise to speak about the unintended consequences of the ongoing federal government shutdown, consequences that are being felt deeply right here in Michigan and even in my own home. But we'll be okay because of Dave Ramsey. In my region, we are home to Selfridge Air National Guard Base and the Detroit Arsenal in Warren, 2 installations that serve as pillars of both our national defense and our local economy. These bases are not just military sites, they are communities. They are made up of men and women who design, maintain, and operate the very systems that keep America safe. They are the ones who fly the missions, maintain the aircraft, and build the machines of freedom, the tanks, the vehicles, and defense tools that protect our nation and our allies. And right now, many of them are doing that work without pay and facing stalled production. Yes, there is a law that promises they will be reimbursed when the shutdown ends, but that doesn't pay the bills today. It doesn't stop the mortgage company from calling. It doesn't delay the car payment. It doesn't put gas in the tank or food on the table. The reality is this: thousands of federal employees right here in the state of Michigan and service members across the state of Michigan have been told to either keep showing up or even as their paychecks have stopped coming. And the consequences ripple far beyond them. Families are falling behind on their obligations through no fault of their own. Families who have never visited food banks before are visiting them for the first time, and local churches and nonprofits are doing their best to fill the gap. Small businesses around Selfridge and the Detroit Arsenal, the diners, the gas stations, the grocery stores, the daycares, are all seeing their sales drop because of their regular customers can't spend what they don't have or are not there. TSA agents and air traffic controllers are working long shifts without pay, rising concerns about safety and burnout in our airports, and farmers who rely on the federal offices for loans or disaster relief are finding those doors closed. This is not just a political stalemate, it's becoming a human crisis. The shutdown has now lasted more than a month, the longest in our nation's history. It has cost our country billions of dollars, but more importantly, it has cost families their stability and their peace of mind. The men and women of Selfridge and the Detroit Arsenal deserve better. The hardworking Americans on those facilities, the ones who design and maintain those very tools in our arsenal of defense, should never be treated as pawns in a political fight. We can debate policy and we can disagree on priorities, but we never must ever hold American workers hostage to gridlock. It is time for Congress to end the Democrat shutdown, pass a clean continuing resolution, reopen the federal government, and get these men and women the pay and the respect that they have earned. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Speaker recognizes Representative McDonnell.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today, I rise in strong opposition to House Resolution 214. Madam Speaker, as we all know, Republicans in Washington hold the White House and have a majority in Congress. And yet the party in power continues to act as if they're completely powerless in this situation. Yesterday, they drove our federal government into the longest shutdown in U.S. history, the longest. It happened under the current administration and under the leadership of a Republican-controlled Congress. I therefore ask, Madam Speaker, if it is not logical that this resolution be directed at the Republican Senate Majority Leader and to the Speaker of the House. Senate Minority Leader and House Minority Leader have said time and time again that they are willing to end the shutdown, provided that Republicans come to the table and negotiate a deal that will not eviscerate health care affordability for millions of Americans. Additionally, they have said that they want a deal that ensures congressionally appropriated funds, that they are directed to the proper departments, something this administration has circumvented illegally on numerous occasions since January. What good is a deal if it's not worth the paper it's written on? A U.S. Republican representative even said that it was, and I quote, an embarrassment that the Republican-led House isn't in session to put an end to the shutdown. In fact, they haven't come to session in weeks, and they refuse to hold town halls while millions of Americans and hundreds of thousands of Michiganders go hungry. This is not about politics. This is about doing what is right. This is about feeding families, which we could do here in Michigan today. I agree that we must do all that we can to support the reopening of our federal government, but this smokescreen, this empty rhetoric of a resolution is not the way. Republicans have all the power in Washington, Madam Speaker. They could end the shutdown today if they wanted to, and they could ensure families have food, people have health care, and federal checks and balances are reaffirmed. I urge my colleagues to vote no, and instead let's keep our focus on making sure Michiganders are fed. Thank you very much.
Speaker recognizes Representative Warts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today in support of House Resolution 214. The federal government shutdown has now stretched beyond 35 days. Those who have been most affected are military families and those who are financially the least of these in our state. When our Michigan Senate delegation fails to pass this continuing resolution, they are affecting the people of our state, people who are supposed to be serving, not hurting. The senators continue to operate with pay and benefits, but many servicemen and women do not. It is estimated that 30,000 federal employees have missed their paychecks since this began. Some have also been stripped of health insurance. One serviceman from my district returned to Michigan this summer on medical hardship to be closer to his family. His wife, a veteran, is paralyzed, and they have 4 children, and he is the sole provider for his family. Not only is he not receiving his pay, this shutdown has suspended his family's health insurance coverage. What these senators are doing to our military families is unconscionable. To demand that someone who signed up to serve our country, to sacrifice their last full measure for each of us, and then be slapped in the face with no pay, no benefits, no coverage of service or support for our veterans is just so unthinkable. And yet, here we are. I wonder what would happen and how quickly this shutdown might be solved if the senators were withheld their pay, their health benefits, their travel reimbursements. I bet we would have a resolution agreed upon weeks ago. Veterans Day is quickly approaching. The gift we could give our servicemen and women and our veterans is to pass a continuous resolution and stop this government shutdown. A no vote on this resolution is a vote for political gamesmanship, with Michigan citizens as collateral. I would urge all of my colleagues to vote yes, to encourage our lawmakers to find a solution and alleviate the pain being felt across our state by Michigan constituents. Thank you.
Speaker recognizes Representative Thompson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise today in strong support of this resolution, urging the U.S. Senate to vote yes on a clean resolution to open our government. You'll notice that I'm not placing blame on one particular party, and I'm not calling out a particular party, as our colleagues both in the House and the Senate continue to do across the aisle. As a woman who stands before you, a single mom of 3, working very hard, attending nursing school, and relying on welfare, both food stamps and Medicaid, to raise my three children on my own, I do understand firsthand what it's like for these families across the state of Michigan, especially in my district downriver. I know what it feels like to stretch every dollar and make sure that every dollar counts, and every delay hurts our families. When the government shuts down, it's not the politicians in this chamber or the politicians in Washington that feel it first. It's the mom waiting on her paycheck, the dad worried about his mortgage, the young student that's trying to afford groceries and attend college. It's our neighbors, our veterans, and our small business owners. Frankly, I am sick and tired of hearing the same partisan talking points. These are only dividing us further, and the truth is that Michigan families really don't care whose party wins. They just want the government to function. They want leadership, not gamesmanship. Here in Michigan, we actually managed to pass a budget. We did the work. We put in the work. We showed up, even when we disagreed. We can still come together and keep our government open here in Michigan to serve the people that we work for. Washington must do the same. The time has come. This isn't about scoring political points, and it should be about what's doing right for the people that we serve. Reopening the government is not a Republican or a Democrat issue. It's an American issue. I urge my colleagues to please put politics aside, support this resolution, and send a clear message to Washington that enough is enough. The people that we send to Washington must work for those that sent them there. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Speaker recognizes Representative DeBoyer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You know, Madam Speaker, about a month ago, just a month ago, right here in our state capitol, the Republican Speaker of the House, the Democrat Senate Majority Leader, and the Democrat Governor came together and crafted a budget. They set their political differences aside at the last hour because they understood the importance of functional government. And they understood without a functional government and a budget, many people in our state who don't care about politics could and would suffer. Madam Speaker, the disappointment that I have in regard to the political gamesmanship that is going on should be held by everyone in this chamber. The process is rather clear. First, the House of Representatives have already passed the continuing resolution. It lies in the Senate. 60 votes are needed. There are 57. The disappointment comes here. Critical supplemental food assistance to our most vulnerable in our state and our country are at risk. Our safety and security at the airports, overworked, not being paid, is at risk. Medicare, for the seniors amongst us, the most vulnerable, is potentially at risk. Not to mention veterans benefits, and yes, in fact, even Social Security benefits as well. The 2 U.S. senators from the state of Michigan are no votes on the continuing resolution. We're 3 votes short. 2 of them are from the state of Michigan that could push us closer to taking care of the individuals and providing the basic functions that the federal government should provide. Both of those senators are holding their yes votes for items that do not benefit the citizens of the state of Michigan, do not benefit the people of America. They're holding out for health care subsidies.
Speaker recognizes Minority Floor Leader Fitzgerald.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. I believe that the impugning of motives does not speak to only members of this chamber, and I believe that the members' comments could be seen as impugning the motives of our elected representatives of this state, and I ask that that member be called to order.
I believe the representative is in order and germane to the resolution. Thank you. Speaker recognizes Representative DeBoyer.
Madam Speaker, the resolution speaks directly to the wishes of this body to the Senate at the federal government. We have 2 representatives that represent us, senators that represent us there. They're holding out for health care subsidies for illegal immigrants. They're holding out for Medicaid benefits for able-bodied individuals without a work requirement, or at least searching for work actively. Madam Speaker, it's time that our 2 Michigan senators side with the American people, support the continuing resolution, and do the things they were sent to Washington, D.C. to do instead of playing political games. Please support this resolution. Encourage our Michigan Senate delegation, as well as all senators, to do the right thing and vote yes to reopen the federal government. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I request a record roll call vote.
Majority Floor Leader Posthumous requests a record roll call vote. Is the demand supported? The demand is supported. A record roll call vote has been ordered. All those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of adoption of House Resolution 214, there are 54 aye votes and 46 no votes.
A majority of the members present having voted in favor, therefore, the resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just to let the members know, there will be no further voting today when the House adjourns. It stands adjourned until Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m.
The House will go at ease at the call of the chair. For the purpose of an introduction, the Speaker recognizes Representative Green.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I would like to introduce my daughter, Elizabeth Green, her friend, Daniel Schultz, who are from Lutheran High North, and also my husband, Jeff Green, who is an employee of the Detroit Arsenal.
Colleagues, please join me in welcoming Representative Green's guests to the Michigan House of Representatives.
There being no further business to come before the House, Representative Glanville moves that the House do now adjourn. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The motion carries. The House will stand adjourned until Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m.